So all of last week I've been playing Zappa, and he has been really fun so far, but he's also just been really difficult to like grasp. I've just had like a hard time like understanding him. Typically when I learn like a new fighting game or a new character, I'm going to go deep dive the wiki. I'm going to put like a list of combos that I want to grind out. There's like what moves I should be using, all this type of stuff, like a really like calculated approach. But with Zappa being essentially just 5 characters stapled together that just randomly gets thrown in between different characters, it's really complicated to use that approach. And I found myself at the start of this week basically just getting into like analysis paralysis, and I just told myself, screw it, I just need to jump in and press buttons. And from there I was able to like devise a little bit more of a game plan, right? I was able to see like, oh, what I wanted to cover, what I wanted to do from there. I normally feel really uncomfortable just jumping into a character like that, especially one who's like quote unquote super complicated, because he has a lot of depth to him. He's got a lot of tools, and I just kind of needed to just jump in and see what happened. But from there, like midweek, I was able to get like somewhat of the basics of each summon. If for people who aren't aware, Zappa is a character who, when he uses a DP move, he generates a random summon, and then that summon like basically just makes him in a whole different character. So when he has no summon, he's referred to as naked, and all he has is basically just like a force break overhead, and then also the DP that gets him into a summon. So I'm gonna go over the basics ones right now, and just kind of like what I was thinking of each stance so far this week. To get used to triplets seem like really good zoning. You could just throw them at like four different arcs. Yeah, 4 different arcs. The force break one throws all 3 of them, and I don't think it's like a random arc gets selected for each of them. I'm not entirely sure on that. That's what it feels like. But basically, what I found really quickly with triplets was figuring out those arcs and what I wanted to cover. Yeah, like I really like the S version of throwing a triplet, because that's like a standard fireball, and then the H version is kind of like controls the air really well. And I've learned just using those 2 in neutral have helped a lot. Sometimes, like in the air, you can use the K version because that one bounces off the ground, so it kind of controls that space for a little while longer. And then the P version's just for Oki, or maybe if they're like, if I think they're going to be locked down, maybe standing still for a little bit, P version's pretty good. And then from there, I just kind of learned how to extend like basic combos. Just like you can, like the spirits behind you kind of attack in like tandem, so you can like hit the slash button multiple times or the heavy slash button multiple times, and you'll be able to like pretty much chain them. So I just kind of like have basic combo theory of just like button, try to extend it with slash and heavy slash buttons, and then either close it with a triplet toss or try to get a knockdown. But overall, they're definitely the easiest stance to just get going with. It might be my favorite right now. As I discover the other stances, maybe not so much, but we'll see. They're really fun. I just like throwing them around, filling the screen with just BS, and it's fun forcing our opponent to have to deal with that. And then Sword is another one. I was overextending with it. I was just like pressing buttons, and Sword was just going away from me, and people were just really easily getting in. And I was basically this week, all the way up to the very end, I was just doing real basics, just slash, heavy slash, and then half circle back H. I think half circle back H. This is for a basic combo string. Sometimes if they were really close, I could do like the close slash, and then if they block it, jump to do the quick overhead. But overall, I just trying to get in my bearings with this. I have to figure out how to do the recall, like the recall specials a little bit better. 236S one kind of confuses me. There's some questions I have to ask. But for the whole week, people were just really just like jumping over the sword and getting to me. And then I was just ignoring 2H. And then when I figured out 2H was just an amazing anti-air, it just opened my eyes. I love the 2H button now. It's just calling people out for trying to jump over it. 2H is a god button in Sword. I'm starting to enjoy it. I was basically just kind of like strike mixing people. And it was kind of working. But yeah, and then the third normal summon was Dog, and Dog has the infinite and it's really complicated, and I don't know really quite get it. I'm not quite sure how quickly I can act after inputting a command for the Dog summon. So I've just kind of just decided to, can I sandwich them? If I sandwich them, just hit buttons and see what happens. And well, when you're just throwing out hitboxes left, right all the time, there's like barely any gap, you're probably going to open people up. So Dog, if I get a knockdown and I get Dog, I know to just air dash over them, try to sandwich them, and then just kind of mash buttons from there. Sometimes I get Dog out of hit stun, and then 5D is like the fastest move, but you kind of have to let go of block to do it. You can probably time it a little bit with like block stun and then letting go, inputting the 5D and then going back to stun, and then like it doesn't leave you open for a gap. But I'll have to experiment with that and see if that's really the case, or if I should be using like 4D more often. It's a little bit slower, well, it's actually much slower. 5D is a really fast button, but I'll have to experiment with that, see if that's good for getting out of like defensive situations. Overall, like, I feel like my defense with Zappa is like really bad, like really, really bad. I just don't know what to do when people are pressuring me, so that's something I'll have to also explore. Rao being the final summon here, it only happens when you get the 8 orbs. I didn't put much time into them because I haven't really done anything yet. I just know the DP is really good, the ball is really good for Oki, and jump-in seem pretty strong. Overall, I've just been doing like slash, heavy slash, DP, and then if I knock them down, just put orb on them, or just throw orb out in general and just force them to block it. But Rao, I haven't really explored too much. But for like specific matchups, people on my stream have been playing Bridget recently, and I'm getting absolutely destroyed by this character. They said that she actually has like a pretty solid matchup into Zappa, but I don't know. I think it's more of like a me problem that I'm having with it, because theoretically I should be able to open up Bridget and then just like run a game. But overall, Zappa is a lower damage character in this game, and then me not being optimal or not really comfortable with the character makes that damage even lower, and my Oki's bad. And I think I just have to learn how to fight Bridget. She has like a lot of just, the teddy bear can like obstruct the views, and I'm already bad at reacting to mix. I'm not gonna pretend like I've been blocking those overheads. I got hit by almost every single overhead, but Bridget is a weird matchup that I think I'm gonna actually have to like do a decent amount of research into. Another matchup is the Zappa, just the mirror match. This mirror match is wild. You're constantly swapping in between like summons, and once you have a summon, it just absolutely can just like demolish Zappa. A Zappa with no summon. Like all of the summons, Rao, Dog, Sword, Triplets, just demolish Zappa with no summon whatsoever. So it's like a really snowbally match, but also like it's just complete chaos, and it takes so much effort, and it's like mentally exhausting. It's a very mentally exhausting mirror, and I want to keep playing it. It's chaos incarnate, and I love it. This Zappa grind is going to be long. I'm definitely in it for the long haul. I previously, the content on the channel, I've been trying to do like these 1 month grinds, but I want to upload more, and I wanted to experiment with like weekly touch points, weekly thoughts, and while I'm doing these grinds, and I think I'm gonna want to play Zappa for more than a month. So I think this was like the perfect time to experiment with like weekly touch points instead of monthly. So let me know what you think about these type of videos in general. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing more of this character, and I want to get good with Zappa. He's so much fun. I love just chaotic characters, and maybe that's why I was drawn to Faust, and even Cliff has like a lot of chaos to him, just with like his damage output in general. But Faust and Zappa, those are like chaotic RNG characters, and I just absolutely love it. All right, as always, keep hitting buttons and have a good rest of your day.